people on the Zoom call, you're going to have to do your best to follow along. I know it's not as big, but try and get the skill out of it. And people on the iPad, same deal. We're just going to do our best with this. So, draw conclusions. And we talked about that just a second ago in writing, that when you're drawing conclusions, you're using what's already been told you, what's been said in the words and in the writing, to try and make some conclusions or an explanation to things, okay? So it says, draw conclusions. Facts and details are the small pieces of information in an article or story. Facts and details add up to a conclusion, a decision or opinion the reader forms that makes sense. Like when we were doing our paraphrase. We came up with the explanation that because Robin Terry walks 30 miles a week playing the game, and he's lost 42 pounds, it's helped him manage his diabetes, we reached the conclusion that if people are walking and playing the game, it's giving them more exercise, which is causing them to be more healthy, right?
Yep.
Okay, so we jumped to a conclusion then. And we're going to try and do the same here. Here it says, use the graphic organizer to draw conclusions about why Bodie would be interested in visiting, or to visit, as you read, visiting a California ghost town. So we're going to read visiting a California ghost town. And we're going to be using, I better do this graphic organizer, because otherwise you guys won't know what you're doing.
I don't know what we're doing. We would.
Yeah, that's what I would say if I didn't know what I was doing. So, we're going to have a fact in the detail plus a fact in the detail that's going to arrow to, I'm just going to make it big again because I might need more room. I might need more room for my conclusion, if you know what I'm saying.
No.
What? So, I'm going to change this back to a single page view. Cozy, cozy. Oh no! Never mind. We're good. Visiting a California ghost town. If you have ever wondered what a real ghost town looks like, you can visit Bodie, California. A ghost town is an abandoned town that has been deserted for many years. Okay, make sure you're reading along with me. Make sure that you're not playing with like rulers or anything else. We should have all that stuff put away. We're reading, we're following along. Here we go. In 1859, when gold was
Discovered
in Bodie, the whole town had only
20.
about, oh you guys missed about 20 miners. By
1880.
just over 20 years later, the town's population had grown to around
10,000.
a few years later, the boom was
Over.
and by 1882, people started moving away. In 1962, Bodie became a
California state.
state historic park. The Park Service keeps Bodie in a state of arrested decay. This means that things are kept just as they were found many years ago. About 170 buildings are still,
Standing.
and most of them are kept locked so that things inside can be kept the same as they were when the last residents left the town. If you look inside some of the buildings, it may appear that the
People.
just left. You may even see
Books.
left open on desks or a store filled with goods. Bodie is an incredible place to go if you like learning about the past. Walk around this town and see if you can
Imagine.
what it was like living in the Old West. Okay, so what we were looking for is we're trying to draw a conclusion about why Bodie would be an interesting to visit. Why is Bodie an interesting place to visit? So I think really they've given us our conclusion, haven't they?
Yeah.
What's our conclusion for this? I'm going to read the question again. Use this graphic organizer to draw conclusions about why Bodie would be an interesting, why can't I read that? Use this graphic organizer to draw conclusions about why Bodie would be interesting to visit as you read Visiting a California Ghost Town. What would our conclusion be? I think they've kind of already stated it. Braylon.
Our conclusion is Bodie is an incredible place to go if you like learning about the past.
Okay. Bodie, CA, is I'm going to just use great because it's smaller. Great place to visit if you like learning about the past. Is that it? I think they made that pretty clear, right? It was stated in the question why it would be an interesting place to visit. It even says it in the story, right? So now we need some details. How did we get that conclusion? Where did that conclusion come from? All right, we need to have partners here, so you two, you and you and Danielle, you and Ava, two, Braylon and Brady. Stay on task, okay? You guys are going to talk with your partner. Look back in the story. People in the Zoom. I'll try and make this a little smaller so maybe you can look at more of it. Try and find 2 details that helped us draw that conclusion. We're working backwards. Sometimes you know the conclusion and you just have to find the evidence. Ready? Talk.
They don't want you left it because they want to live it. The building is locked because they want to leave it how it was. That's pretty much it. And another one's that Bodie, I know it talks about and then another one is about 700, 100. Most of them are. Do you know? If you look inside some of the buildings, it has to be if you look inside,
Maddie, what was one piece of information or one detail that you came up with?
A long time ago, they only had 29 years.
Okay, but how does that tell me that it's a great place to visit if I like learning about the past? Braxton, give me something.
If you look inside some of the buildings, it may appear that people just left.
So, things look the way they did right before the people left. That is kind of cool. When did they leave? In 1882. So it looks like things were left the same way, undisturbed, for over 140, almost 140 years. Well, it's pretty easy. You add 100 to get to 1980, and then it would be 40 more years to get to 2020. So it's really only 38 years, but almost 148 years. That seems kind of cool.
Let's go there.
We need one more. It would be kind of cool to go see it. Chase, what did you guys come up with?
It's probably still like really new because like they keep it all locked up so you can't.
Okay. What was the word they used for how they keep it? Everything is kept in. You can help him, Parker. You're his partner. You guys came up with it together. Yeah, it's kept in arrested decay. What that means is they found it kind of broken down and beat down and kind of decay means falling apart, right? So what they've done is they've kept it at that same level of decay. They're not fixing things to make it look nice, but they're not letting it get worse. Does that make sense? They are keeping it just the way they found it. Okay, anybody have anything else that they didn't get up there that they thought was a good one? Now remember, it has to be different. You can't say, it still looks the same as when people left. You already have that. Hadley, what did you guys come up with?
The body, and Bodie became a California State Historic Park.
Okay, it's a state historic park. Like,
Gold was found there.
okay, it's a historic gold mining town, yep. That could make it fun if you were interested in that stuff. Mackenzie,
When gold was discovered in Bodie, they only had 20 miners.
okay, but how does that make me want to go visit it?
Because you're learning about when they discovered gold.
Okay, so then you might want to say something more like that, like a reason to go is that it was a gold mining town, and there might be some history about that there. Delia,
If you ever wondered what a real ghost town looks like, you can visit them.
okay, because it's a real ghost town, and you can learn about what that actually looks like. Braxton,
Well, I already know what the author's purpose is.
okay, so we didn't ask that, but it's a good one. So what would be the author's purpose here?
He gave it
Go for it. What do you think it is?
like inform or persuade because it's getting you. Well, it's more of inform because it's telling you about it.
Okay, so they tell you all about it. I think where we see what the author's purpose is right here. Bodie is an incredible place to go if you like learning about the past. Walk around this town and see if you can imagine what it's like living in an Old West. Yeah, there's a lot of information here. And inform is probably, I would say, is probably the secondary purpose. It wasn't their main purpose. Based on this line, Bodie is an incredible place to go if you like learning about the past. I've already told you it's the first intention isn't probably informed. What do we think this one might be? And why? Ava.
You probably could persuade for you to go there and
Okay, if it were persuade, they'd be more kind of like giving you the push. You should go see it. Who wouldn't want to go? No place in the world is more interesting than Bodie. Do you guys see like the aggressiveness behind that? So I don't think it's persuade. It's really similar to that. Delia,
express.
why is it express?
Because they express all their feelings about what they were like, basically telling the information about.
They're telling you that they think it's a cool place and that if you like this type of stuff, you'll like Bodie. They're expressing their strong feelings for liking it. What if they were trying to persuade you? They'd be telling you more things like, this is the vacation of a lifetime, and who wouldn't want to go? Come see the most exciting place, really building it up, right? Like commercials. Commercials are all about persuasive, or all about persuasion. Why you should go on this vacation. Why this, I mean, there's all those ads for different types of foods. Okay, I was thinking more along the lines of like pharmaceutical things, like if you're struggling with psoriasis or this, here's why you should use this drug. Right? You guys seen those? They're all on TV. And
There's like,
I
I see a lot of like movie ones.
yep, movies too. Movies, sometimes movies are all about persuasion. How many of you have ever seen commercials for a movie on TV and thought, boy, that's going to be really, really good, and then you go there and you realize that everything that was good was in the commercial. Every good scene in that movie, or every funny part of that movie, was in that 45-second ad. Okay, hands down. They persuaded you to go to that movie by just showing you the good parts. They didn't tell you that was only the good parts. And how many of you have ever watched a movie that the commercial looked terrible for, but it was really, really good because there were so many good parts in it that they didn't show you any of them because, yeah, I've seen that too. It's all about persuasion. The other one maybe should have done a better job and showed me some of the interesting parts, but you can be persuaded to go see terrible movies because the preview looks good, but it's all the good parts of the movie. Okay, so I think this is express, and they're expressing their opinion and their feelings about Bodie, right? Hey, Blake, that's only for like when we're not having a class discussion. Like if there's a break, okay? So now I'm going to give you guys your drawing conclusions sheet. Gavin and Porter, you guys will have this. I probably wrote Monday on the top of it. Autumn and Elizabeth, you won't have this because, well, frankly, you're not here.
She ever coming back?
Name, number, and date on the
Who's ever coming back?
draw conclusion side.
I was here yesterday, or on Friday. She was.
Mm-hmm.
So was Elizabeth.
Mm-hmm. Name, number, and date on the draw conclusion sheet.
Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Get your name, number, and date on the draw conclusion side. Everybody got the name, number, date on it? Grade, number, date? It's 11/2/20. Okay, it says at the top, drawing conclusions. Drawing a conclusion is forming an opinion based on what you already know or on the facts and details in a text. Facts and details are the small pieces of information in an article or story. Facts and details, in quotes, add up to a conclusion. Conclusions formed by the author or the reader must make sense. So you can't be like, oh, I think the point of the Bodie, California article was that we should go to Mars and try and build a colony there. Didn't say anything about that. Is that a strong conclusion?
No.
I think the conclusion I drew from the Bodie, California article about the ghost towns is that that the California condor was once endangered and now is starting to make a comeback through great conservation efforts.
That was never in the story.
So then it's not a good conclusion. It has to make sense. So, we're going to read this article right here. We need 3 facts and details and then a conclusion that you can draw from those. What might happen if a team member did jobs that were wrong for them is number 5. So here we go. The big project. Big projects are almost never done by just one person. This is true both in
School.
and in work. Different people have different skills that help a
Project.
be successful. Some people are great at organizing, while other people are
Excellent.
speakers. When you put them together, they form a
Team.
very good. Next paragraph. The right people should do the,
Right jobs.
of course, that way all team members can do quality work quickly. A good team can be effective. Sharing the
Work.
in this way is one of the best types of cooperation. Effective
Team.
have built skyscrapers, put people in,
Space.
and filmed blockbuster movies. Okay, I'm going to help you guys with the first one. You guys ready? When I look over here, I think an important part of this is right here. Different people have different skills. I think that that's really important. I think that's an important part of the story. Do we agree? Okay, so I'm going to put that down in my factor detail. Different people have different skills. You should get that in. Make sure you're writing neatly so that I can read. Now, for fact and detail number 2, I want you to visit with, not right now, we're in the middle of work. You had 10 minutes during that time where we were taking a break and getting this set up, you could have went. With the partner that you worked with before, you're going to come up with the second detail that you think is important out of here, towards drawing a conclusion. So, with your partner, go ahead.
one speaker, two writers, but that's not a thing, then
Okay, I want to hear our facts and details. Porter, did you come up with any? Did you come up with a second fact or detail?
No, I didn't think of one.
You couldn't think of one? Okay. Blake, what did you guys come up with?
a good team can be effective.
Okay, I think that's not the one that I thought would come next, but that is a good one. I think that is a good fact or detail. A good team can be effective. Good teams are effective.
Can we write them down?
We're just sharing right now. Delia, what did you guys come up with?
The best types of cooperation effective teams have built.
Couldn't hear that. Can you say that again?
The best tips for cooperation effective teams.
Effective teams are one of the best forms of cooperation. Okay. Macy.
When you put different people together with different skills, they form a team.
Okay. Different people with different skills can form a team. Parker.
The people should do the right jobs. The people with better skills
The right people
should do the right job.
do the right job for them. Right. I think that we did a really good job, so we should probably get a couple of those written down. I want you to draw the conclusion. We kind of did. I gave you a bunch of details, right? If you were listening, everybody should have gotten some details. Write down 2 more of them. Number 2 and number 3, you're going to form the conclusion. What are we supposed to take away from this? And then answer number 5. What might happen if team members did jobs that were wrong for them? Just write it down. I want you to answer it. Braden, first I want you to do the fact or details, then conclusions, and then do 5. Do 5 last. I think my students in here have been working pretty hard, so I will give Dojo points. When you're done, do not hand this in, because there's a spelling page on the back I'm going to go over with you. Was there a question there? I'm not sure how to answer. Did you answer your own question? Okay, good.